Heather, you can start.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Before I share my screen, I will have the other members of my team introduce themselves. But as Quinn said, I am Heather Brown. I am Senior Campus Recruiter here with CBIZ, supporting our New York office. We're so excited, to be here with you guys. As I was saying a little bit earlier, I cannot believe that it is already September 8th. Where has the time gone? So we have, a pretty, I think, a good presentation to kind of kick off, your bid off aside presentations for the fall, especially since, as Quinn mentioned, the accounting and finance career fair is tomorrow. So I think it's, a good topic to kind of kick off, the fall recruiting season. So I'll have Taylor go ahead and introduce himself, and then I'll have Ahmed introduce himself. So Taylor, take it off. There you
Awesome.
go.
Thank you, Heather. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Sheffield. I'm a campus recruiter as well with CBIZ. I'm located actually in Charlotte, North Carolina, so a little ways from you guys to help support Heather all across the country as well. Been with CBIZ for about 8 years now, which is kind of crazy to think, but started as an intern and then came on full time, and I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Ahmed, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmed. I'm entering my third year with CBIZ as an auditor. I say graduated from Rutgers, though. I'm not a fairly big, but definitely glad to meet you guys. Looking forward to answering any questions you guys have.
Hey, Ahmed, I think your audio is a little spotty.
Okay, give me one quick second.
Having the same trouble for you, Heather? Must be coming in and out.
Technology never wants to work when you need it to.
Well, we'll get him back in here.
We'll get him back. While Ahmed's getting ready, I'll go ahead and get my screen shared. Taylor, let me know when
Will do.
we good there.
Perfect. I can see it.
Awesome. All right, Ahmed, do you want to try again? If not, we can get back to you here in a second. All right, we'll let him figure it out. His technology. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. Oh, here, Ahmed's back. You want to try your intro again?
All right. How's this sound? Is it better?
Perfect. Yes.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys? My name is Ahmed. I'm entering my third year with CBIZ as an auditor. I graduated from Rutgers. I'm not a Fairleigh Dickinson alumni, but definitely answer any of your guys' questions.
Awesome. So yeah, we are all three kind of tag teaming this presentation, and I already told Ahmed I'm going to be asking him a ton of questions, so he's ready. All right. So today our presentation is going to be about finding the right firm fit. So like I mentioned, recruiting season for you guys starts tomorrow with the career fair. And so I want to make sure that you guys, kind of feel comfortable and ready to go when it comes to, exploring what firms are out there and, kind of, going from there. So we'll go ahead and move on forward. I will go ahead and have Taylor is going to add in a form link to the chat. So I know those of you guys that are in person won't have this. So Quinn, if we send this in the chat, will you make sure to send it out to the students that are in person today? It's just a sign-in sheet, so we can make sure to get in touch with everybody. I forgot the little QR code, so that was my bad. So we'll add it to the link, and then Quinn, I'll have you send it out to everybody. It's just like name, email, that general stuff. So we'll go ahead and get started with general CBIZ information. So Taylor, I'm going to kick it off over to you.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, perfect. Well, yeah, I just wanted to kind of present you guys a quick overview of CBIZ for those who do not know too much about us and kind of who we are. So as far as CBIZ, we are a professional services firm. So we're a little bit different compared to maybe some other public accounting firms. So if you look in kind of the bottom left-hand corner, there's kind of a graphic there, has a financial and accounting piece, and then we also have a benefits and insurance side of the company as well. So we offer financial services side, the accounting, tax, and audit, government healthcare, consulting, financial advisory, valuation support. So a lot of different service lines within the financial services side. But then also on the benefits and insurance, we also provide benefits and consulting, payroll services, human capital management, and so forth. So really a wide range of services, and try to be kind of that one-stop shop really for anyone, so we can help support them in anything that they may need. So as far as the company, we are a national firm. We have about 100 different offices from coast to coast, and I know around, I think above 5,000 employees now, which is great to see. And so growing like crazy, we have about 68 workplace awards. I know it's a very test to all of our employees and all the hard work that everybody does there across the country. Like I said, I know we have 100 offices across the country. We actually are located and headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, but we have offices up there in New York and Boston, kind of in that Northeast area too as well. Let's see here. As far as from a public accounting standpoint, I think we are the 11th largest public accounting firm in the nation. And one of the top 10 largest valuation firms in the US as well. Let's see here. And I think as far as also kind of looking in the bottom right-hand corner, the commitment to community as well. We do take community service very, very seriously here, and very proud as far as we're able to raise 9 million pounds of food since 2009. We have a huge food drive every year that all the offices compete and work towards again. So it's a lot of fun, and definitely something I'm very proud of as far as showing and giving back to the community. So awesome. We're going to head to the next slide. Perfect. All right. So I see this. So like I said, kind of before on the last slide, we are a little bit more than just an accounting firm. We do have a lot more opportunities outside of with the benefits of insurance, but then also within on the financial services side as well. We have a bunch of different avenues and pieces that we're able to do within the financial services side. And like I said, we are also a mid-sized firm. And so we do have that national presence, that national resource, kind of still having that local feel at that local level. So one of the things that we always say, if you out national locals and out nationals at each market. So as far as from the staffing model, it's kind of unique. We allow a lot more growth from the managing director and directors, which is nice, as we actually are able to, since we do have our smaller at each of the office, we actually are able to have kind of smaller teams, which gives you a lot more broad exposure and gives you a lot more hands-on experience for a lot more of those projects, working with those directors and managers and working with those clients in a wide variety of different industries. And yeah, so as far as that kind of goes with CBIZ, kind of wanted to turn it over to Ahmed and have him talk a little bit kind of about the New York office, some of those details there.
Thanks, Taylor. So kind of piggyback off what Taylor was saying, CBIZ is definitely more than just an accounting firm, especially in the New York office. The New York office is honestly one of our bigger offices that we have with the firm. As you guys can see, there's 150 plus team members, and our ratio from staff to managing director, going back to our staffing model, is 6-to-1. So with that being said, the CBIZ New York office, there is a lot of opportunity to work with a lot of different people, get a lot of different exposure in a lot of different areas, like Taylor was also letting you guys know, from apparel to consumer products, software technology, hedge funds, very, very big variety and a lot of exposure that you can have with CBIZ, which is honestly a great thing for learning.
Ahmed, what industries do you typically work on?
So I genuinely like to work on apparel. I like apparel companies just because of that's just something that I enjoyed working with. I like the concept of knowing kind of the product that I'm working on. Some consumer products too, construction, a lot of different things. I like to change it up.
Good variety.
Yeah, I like to have a different variety. It kind of just keeps everything for me from getting stale. Like instead of doing the same type of client all the time, I like to try out different things because it keeps it fresh for me.
Absolutely. All right. We're gonna have more slide, just CBIZ in general, and we're gonna, jump into the content. So I did just, typically I do this at the very end, but I did just want to go ahead and talk about this at the very beginning. Like I mentioned, we are going to be at the Accounting and Finance Virtual Recruiting Fair tomorrow. Sign up to talk to us. We do have some spots available. We have 2 really great associates attending the event. So you will not be seeing any of our bright shining faces. You're going to see 2 new professionals at the virtual event tomorrow. So definitely sign up to talk to us. As you can see, we have a ton of opportunities. We are looking for interns to join our practice in the spring in our tax department. Our internships are part-time. So, you can work, go to school at the same time. Typically like our interns to work 20 to 24 hours a week. And so we do have a few needs in the tax department. We have a ton of full-time needs. So, I don't know if anybody's still looking for full-time needs, but we have a bunch in 2022. Our tax practice, we have some opportunities on the corporate side, as well as our family office group, which is a pretty niche group in our New York City office. And then audit associates, we're looking for candidates, to start with us either in the spring or the fall. And then we do have a practice under our audit umbrella that is Korean based. So we've got some opportunities there. So like I said, lots of full-time and some intern opportunities. And then we are also, always actively recruiting for future needs. So on our website, you'll also see 2023 intern needs out there, which is kind of crazy. I had to wrap my head around the fact that we're already recruiting for 2023. So those intern needs are out there as well. We have a pretty quick deadline for our positions. Since the fair is tomorrow, we are asking all of our candidates from FDU to apply by Friday. It's a quick turnaround, but that's just what you got to do. So feel free to reach out to me if you sign up to talk to us tomorrow. And if you guys, fill out that form that Taylor added to the chat, I'll be reaching out to you guys. So please reach out with questions. All right, we'll get started with the content here. Okay, so I know, a lot of you guys, probably have internships lined up, probably don't have internships lined up. We'll, talk about that here in a little bit, but I think it's really important just to kind of just take a second and, recognize what exactly do you want out of your, accounting degree. And so kind of the first thing, to acknowledge is the fact that there are a lot of different options out there for accounting majors. I think that is why accounting is a very, it's typically, I think that's the reason why accounting typically has a lot of a lot of people under that major, is because there are a lot of different things you can do with an accounting major. I have an accounting degree. I am in recruiting, but I did go audit, but there's lots of different things that you can do with your accounting degree. So taking a step back, obviously there's the different types of fields that you can go into: audit, tax, forensics, advisory. And then you can also, look at it from the different types of, types of companies you want to go work at, whether it's, a public accounting firm, a private accounting firm, or even going and working, in the government. I know that it can be a little overwhelming, especially if you're, still really early in your accounting classes. You're like, I don't know what audit is. I don't know what tax is. And so I don't want to, go over, what each of these fields are, because I think a lot of you guys probably already know what they are, but, I think, moving past kind of like the general definitions of these fields, there's a lot you can do, in each of these fields as well. That's not just strictly audit. So I like to, focus on, there's a lot you guys can do with this degree. And I know it can be overwhelming, but there's lots you can do here. So the thing that I want to jump into next is thinking about the different types of, firms that you want to go into. There are a lot of options out there as well for the different types of companies you want to go work at. I do know that a lot of firms, typically ask you to decide this stuff like really early on as well. So I think it's important, to recognize that, you don't always have to go to the same type of firm that your friend goes to. You could go to more of a regional firm or mid-size, or local or big four. There's all these options out there. And so take a step back and really recognize, like, what do I want out of my career? There is not a type of firm that's better than the other. There's just a type of firm that's better for you. So keep that in mind when you guys are going through the recruiting process. Is not, like I said, not every firm is going to be the same for everybody. It's what's finding, you got to find what's best for you. Typically local, focuses more on a specific like local market. Maybe they just have an office in the New York City city area. And that's the only place that they have an office. Typically regional companies have little hubs, but their clients are smaller. Midsize does have that national presence, like CBIZ. We do have a national presence, but we are smaller, and you do get a broad variety of range of clients as well. And then we all know Big Four, lots of different opportunities there. So I just wanted to acknowledge that there's a lot out there, you guys. So I like this next slide, basically because I just like the dog in it. So I just want to acknowledge to you guys that it is tough and it can be a draining process. So treat the interviewing process as like a job itself, and commit certain days and times to doing research and applying for positions. We're going to talk a little bit about like maybe our recommendations, and even Quinn mentioned earlier, like LinkedIn. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but doing research is really important, you guys, especially when it comes to, trying to find a firm that's a good fit for you. These are very wordy slides, so I'm not going to read every word to you guys, but when you are, approaching, trying to figure out what types of firms, you're wanting to go work at, or even if you're not wanting to go into public, if you're thinking about, what you want to do, think about your short-term and long-term goals. Like, do you want to be a partner? Like, think about those types of things. Like, and, maybe, I'm not saying that, you can't be a partner at a larger or smaller firm, but think about those types of goals and how you can accomplish them. I once had a partner tell me that he used to ask in every single interview what your long-term goals were. And if you did not say you wanted to be a partner, he was not going to hire you. So that was scary. So try to think about what your long-term and your short-term goals are, you guys. I think it's really important, to obviously have some sort of internship experience. I will never say you need to have public accounting experience if you want to go into public accounting. Having some sort of work experience, I think, is valuable. Another thing, and I'm going to pick on Ahmed here in a second to answer a question that I have for him, is I think it's also important, you guys, to ask questions on why people decided to go into a certain field. So, ask, if you're talking to a tax person, ask them why they wanted to go into tax. Ask, somebody why they wanted to go into audit, because I think that maybe their background can relate to why you want to go into a certain field. So Ahmed, why did you want to go into audit? Share that with the room.
So for me, honestly, the decision between audit and tax was more so like what my personality, what I felt more comfortable doing. Of course, the tax aspect was, for me, being in the office most of the time, just being being behind a computer, not really working in as many teams for projects. That's where the audit side really appealed to me. Especially being with CBIZ mid-sized, the aspect of teamwork. So being able to work on clients together as a team, having a group, being able to actually go and see the client and interact with the client and request information from the client, like actually having that interaction. That was definitely the pull for me, because I like being around people. I like speaking with people. So for me, I felt like I would be more comfortable in definitely excel better on the audit side.
I'm muted. With that, Taylor, I just realized I forgot our Slido question. So I think this pins into it really well. Can I have everybody, I think Taylor, did you add it into the chat yet?
Not yet.
Okay, will you go ahead and add the Slido link? We'll take a quick second to do something with Slido. I will have to unshare my screen and reshare my screen because I'm not very good at this. Taylor's a lot better at it than I am. So I think this goes into it really well. So we do have just a couple of like poll questions for you guys to answer. So if you go ahead and go to slido.com. So even if you guys are in the room, you can get on your phones and you can go to slido.com, and I'll share this here. And do hashtag CBIZ FDU. You should have access to some of our polling questions. So I'll go ahead and get the first poll started. I did it. Okay. What service line are you guys most interested in? What are you kind of thinking?
All
right.
Audit, tax, renting.
Can I have you go on mute?
We have a little bit of feedback somewhere.
I think it's
Can you go on mute for a second? There we go. I don't know. We'll alternate if we're who's on mute. There's, I don't know, technology. Okay, I was actually expecting this, you guys. Typically, we see a lot more people that are interested in audit. So good variety here. Cool. Okay, I just wanted to kind of gauge the group on what everybody was thinking. So I'll go ahead and we'll go back to the content. So yeah, where I left off is obviously, you know, listen to the team, figure out, you know, what, you know, why they wanted to go a certain service line, and maybe that would interest you. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next slide. So after you kind of decide, you know, what type of field you want to go into, then it's like then it's time to find the right firm. And so think about these things, you guys, like when you're going through the recruiting process, think about what is non-negotiable to you. When I was in your shoes, I wanted, and I'm not sure why, I wanted so bad to be on an energy client. I wanted this. And when I was going through the recruiting process, I asked every single firm, hey, like what types of energy clients do you have? And I live in Kansas City, so like there's not a ton of energy clients here. And so that kind of made my firm pool a lot smaller, but that was something that was really important to me. And I was able to find a firm that had an energy client, and I was on that client the entire time I was at my prior firm. And so figure out what's important to you. Maybe not go so specific like me and want to be on a certain type of industry. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but think about, you know, what's important to you. And, you know, if it's, you know, training resources, if it is like the office size, if it's the culture, if it's the location, like think about all of those things, you guys, because every firm does the same work. It just depends on, you know, every firm does the same work, but we obviously all do our work on different clients, and we may do it a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, we all do the same type of work. So figure out what's, you know, important to you when you're going through this process, and not maybe like what's important to you may not be the same thing that's important to your friends. So also like keep that in mind as well. You're your own person. So think about that. And I just added, you know, some more like what's important to you questions here. Like, is work-life balance important? You know, training, you know, promotions and career growth. Not going to read all of these to you, but these are just some things that, you know, some people like really value, and just kind of figure out like what is important to you and what will help you with those short and long-term goals. So I'm going to go ahead and get it over to, I think this is Ahmed. This is Ahmed. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ahmed, take it off.
Okay, so I'm gonna basically start talking to you guys about interacting with firms, just kind of like, what are you really looking for when you're walking into an interview or walking into a company? Like, what are some of the things that you kind of need to feel comfortable that you can excel? So the right fit would be like firm culture. So firm culture in CBIZ is something that honestly took me in from my first interview with the company. I felt the firm culture all around, from the people we were interviewing with to the first time interacting with any of the partners and managers. Because at the end of the day, when you're working, they really are your second family. Sometimes you're seeing them more than your actual family. So that's something that definitely is going to hold you over, not even hold you over, because the goal is to like the work that you do. But if you like the environment and the work that you're doing it, you're going to definitely enjoy the work that you're doing in that environment. I would definitely say ask as many questions as you have at those recruiting events, interacting with everyone you can, honestly. That's really how you get the best feel for if you're going to like the culture. I mean, I had my first initial like culture feel was definitely at my Rutgers career fair. I had been through all the other competing companies, and I got to CBIZ, and I kind of just had like a full-blown 20-minute conversation with the recruiter, and I was genuinely like, okay, that conversation went really well. I felt comfortable leaving there. That was something that definitely stuck with me.
Something I want to add, sorry, Med, something I want to add is, and he brought this up, talk to as many people as you can. I will say with this virtual environment that we are, still in, it can be hard to interact with as many people as you can. So if that is something that you need in order to make a decision, tell the recruiter or tell somebody like, I'd like to meet more people, or can I, talk to some associates? Like, it is, you want to meet as many people as you can. And as a recruiter, I want you guys to feel like you've talked to as many people as you can. And it's sometimes hard for me to make that possible in a virtual environment. So just ask the recruiter and, ask questions, because we want to make sure that you get everything you can. Sorry, Ahmed, I'm done. I'm done.
That's okay, absolutely. Piggybacking off what Heather was saying, actually, I mean, in most scenarios, you're gonna love the recruiter that you're speaking to at most companies. I mean, Heather's great; she's literally an awesome individual. But at the same time, like, what I mean by talking to more people is interacting with the people that are actually working there in the field that you want to be working at, or like in audit, or to feel in everyday life. It's definitely something to look at, because it really is your second life. It's your second family. It's who you're going to be surrounded by most of your days. You can jump to them.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. So kind of just piggybacking off of what I was saying on the last slide too. Ask the important questions, stuff that matters to you. Asking questions about the firm traits, those that really apply to you, things that you need answers for. Like, for instance, how we handled COVID, how we handled layoffs, diversity, all different types of things. That's questions that you should be asking yourself for every interview, for every encounter, especially during the recruiting process, because those are things that are going to be applying to you one day. Those are things that you're going to be sitting in as an employee, and God forbid something else like that happens, but you want to know that you're taken care of and in good hands at all times.
One thing I was going to add is, don't put all your eggs in one basket, you guys. Like, and I know Quinn mentioned this at the very beginning, like, talk to as many firms as you can. Don't just solely like pick like 3 or 2 firms. Like, talk to as many, because you have no idea. Like, there are so many firms out there, and you may be like shocked by an interaction that you have with a firm that you would have never considered. And so just don't put all your eggs in one basket, and really try to get out there and, talk to as many firms as you possibly can. Sorry to interrupt, Ahmed. I just have.
Oh, it's okay. It's definitely agree with her on that too, because during my process in recruiting CBIZ, I obviously found out about CBIZ at the career fair. So I that's just a perfect example of what she was just saying. I mean, I was going in with my list of companies that I wanted to apply for, and then as I came to the first career fair and I encountered CBIZ, they caught my eye. They weren't even on my radar per se, but after seeing and interacting with some of them, looking into it and everything, I would have never realized the opportunity I could have missed. So that applies to honestly everywhere.
That's a great story. I love that. Anything
Yeah,
else to add on this side, or you ready to move on?
I think another thing,
Oh,
kind of piggybacking on that too as well, like during your interviews tomorrow, keep this in mind that yes, we are interviewing you guys, but also that you're also evaluating us as well. So kind of keep that in mind when going through, ask the, like Amanda was talking about, ask those questions. You know, we're gonna have our questions as well. Make sure you get those in, interview us, and then and getting some of those answers that you need as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. I think we have another Slido question. Isn't that right,
Yes.
Taylor? Yeah. All right. God, should have had you do this. This is good practice for me. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to the next slide. Can you see it?
We can see it.
Okay.
There we go.
Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, go back to slido.com on your phones. Oh, okay. Still looking. All right. Cool. This is a good variety. Okay. So yeah, you guys are definitely going in, cool. Okay. Good variety. That's what I was hoping we would see. I was just curious. I know, it's very competitive out there. So I was just curious. So, all right. I'm going to go back to the content. Here we are. You guys can tell I'm really good at technology. I'm trying. So Taylor, be proud of me. I'm trying so hard.
You're doing great.
All right. We'll go. Taylor, I think you're up. Here we go.
All right. Let's see here. Let me get all my notes down here. All right. So, yeah, so kind of moving forward here at these recruiting events. So try to attend as many of these events as you can. I know it's a great opportunity being in the accounting club, so being able to kind of speak and listen to all these different firms is a great way to kind of get some exposure to all these different people, but also kind of look out for other events that they may be holding or hosting as well, not outside of the career fairs, just to kind of get more exposure, be able to talk to more people within that firm to kind of get a gauge for that culture fit. So talk to as many professionals as you can at as many events as you can, because the more that you talk with them, the more familiar they'll be with you, to recognize you, kind of help you stand out in the crowd, because there is so many accounting students and wanting to get those internships or full-time positions. So any little piece that you can do to kind of help stand out in those events, the better. So an advice from a CBIZ professional, it's not about who you know, but who knows you. So kind of putting your name out there and kind of showing everyone that you're interested. So, all right. Do your firm research. So going into it as well, on top of the career fairs and some of these different events, I know you will have a certain list, like you said, or Med said, kind of keep your eyes open for some new opportunities as well. So do your research, and so you make sure that you're kind of looking into the firm. Are they that local? Are they a regional? Are they a big four? Kind of getting a really good gauge to kind of help do your homework when you're kind of coming into these events, to know if they have the certain service lines that you're looking for, industries that you're really particular onto as well. How many offices do they have across the country? So some of those pieces, so making sure you're doing some of those research. I know you can also go check out their social media pages. You can check out their LinkedIn profiles as well. Their social media pages, as far as like Instagram, it's a great way to kind of get a feel for their culture, kind of get to see kind of hands-on of some of the kind of some of the day-to-day activities that they may hold outside of the normal workday too as well. So they have the different kind of development opportunities that they may have from to the associate roles as well, kind of how that training progression works for the different firms too. So and just making sure that as far as the company's values, as well as the align with you personally and what you're looking for in the firm once you get out of school. So, and yeah, don't be proactive as well. No, you're good, Heather. And just be proactive and yeah, make sure you're reaching out. I know Heather's a great resource, especially from the CBIZ standpoint. So if you guys have questions, make sure after this, make sure you follow up with her with any of those questions about any of these topics. So, all right. All right. Oh, so LinkedIn, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier too as well. LinkedIn is a great resource, especially from being in college as well now, even out, but professionally, it's kind of like a professional social media as far as like Facebook and kind of making those connections. So be able to try to connect with anybody that you can, especially tomorrow, anybody that you meet with during these events. Try to get link up with them, reach out to them to help you grow once you get out of school. Because somehow public accounting is actually a very small, tight-knit group in some facet. Everybody kind of knows everyone. So down the line, maybe you meet somebody now, and here in 5-10 years, you might be reconnecting with that person again. So grow your network, and LinkedIn is a great opportunity for you to do that. And it's also a great way to showcase what you've done professionally as well. It's kind of like an online resume to have and update and other people and recruiters are able to see and view. So it's a great way to promote yourself as well in this day of age. And so being able to kind of keep that update is huge with all of your current up-to-date jobs and positions and what you're looking for. And it also gives us recruiters kind of a good way to kind of professionally see you too as well from a social standpoint. So
well, say it doesn't really have much to do with like recruiting right now, but your peers are also people that you want to stay connected with on LinkedIn as well. I graduated from my MAC program 7 years ago, and I am still in contact with a lot of the people that I went to the MAC program with at my university. So your peers are also sources. So again, that doesn't really have anything to do with like you right now, but I wanted just to say, stay in contact with the people that you're sitting right next to, because you never know down the line, they may be a future client prospect. So I just want to do that small little plug there as well.
That's good.
All right, moving forward.
All right. So setting up for success. The accounting field is a continuous learning environment. So as far as just the field itself, I mean, tax laws, audit, everything, all those, even from like a CPA standpoint too as well, the test is changing. So trying to keep up with current events and news is a great way to stay connected. And also kind of helps you figure out too as well, moving forward when making those decisions, if you're wanting to go the audit, tax or public government or private as well. So keep up with all the national news as much as you can. Be a sponge. Try to learn and absorb as much as you can, especially in your college years. And so try to use all of your resources, your classmates and your teachers as well. That's another great resource to be able to kind of keep up to date with all the upcoming news and so forth. So growing your soft skills. So being able to be in this club and being other opportunities outside of school as well. Kind of taking some of those, not only being in, also kind of try to maybe take some of those leadership opportunities as well. I know that can go a long way, especially going into your internship or full-time position, to be able to kind of get some of those skills to be able to handle certain situations and definitely help out in the long run once you kind of get to that senior level and manager level in your career. And just try to be as proactive as possible, ask questions as much as you can. And like we've hit on it pretty much this whole presentation, ask as many questions as you can and reach out to as many people as you can as well. All right. Okay. Campus resources. So as far as like from a campus resources standpoint, so making sure you're keeping up to date with not only your school, but also your career as well. They're a great way to stay connect, meet you with other firms like CBIZ and any of the other big four public accounting firms that you might be working with. So they're a great resource to reach out to as well, to be able to find new people, new opportunities, career planning, workshops, resume, cover letter prep. Any of those things are all really good opportunities that I would definitely take advantage of, especially with all these career fairs moving forward.
Taylor, I'm gonna say something. I don't know if Pat's on, but you guys all know Pat. She's amazing. Utilize her as much as you can. I don't know if Pat you're on, but anyway, Pat's awesome. I know you guys all know her. Use her. She's great. Because it's stated here, like, I know she'll keep in contact with you because she's great, but when you leave school, a lot of your career center, like, advisors, like, it's hard, it's hard. You can't stay in touch with them, or, so use them while you can, because they're awesome. And anyway, sorry, small Pat plug there. I know I'm not sure she's on, but hey, Pat.
You're here for the shout out. Awesome. And then also kind of moving forward in kind of this new era as far as Handshake is going. And so kind of with that virtual world within COVID, we've definitely been utilizing it a lot more. It's kind of the campus side of LinkedIn. So be able to use Handshake and apply to some of those different opportunities. Kind of get your name out, get those resumes out. As many different opportunities. Talk to other classmates you have, especially in your clubs as well. Kind of get a gauge for them of how their internships were, where they're going, why they chose the certain way of path that they did, why did they choose or thinking accounting, or auditing, why are they thinking tax? So utilize your classmates as well, and moving forward. All right, just remember, it's a journey to find your perfect fit. So it'll take some time. I know it can be overwhelming with all these questions. I know we've had it all on you for the next couple of days, but you just want to make sure that you're comfortable with moving forward and finding what you want to be out of school, finding that right culture fit, finding the right tax or audit. So be able to find that is definitely can be a lot of work up front, but it will pay off in the end. And I think you guys will really enjoy moving forward with your decision. So.
Thank you. All right.
Perfect.
Here's my email address. Now, if you guys have any questions, it's really easy to, really easy email. Do we have questions from anybody? I'm going to stop sharing do we have any questions from anybody? I know it was a lot of reminder, especially when you guys are going into, over the next 2 months. We're here.
As well, up in New York, interviewing.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Okay.
That you've seen someone, so we can know the bigness someone has made and avoid it.
So you mean like at a fair or
Anywhere? The biggest, the thought that someone was clueless and you couldn't believe. But we're clueless until you tell us. So.
Oh gosh.
I can tell you, when I worked in, we received a nice resume from someone who went at length at the bottom about his professional wrestling career, and from the office quite a lot, but it wasn't for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make the impression that I don't know what impression he wanted to make, but it didn't make the right impression. So what have you seen that's a real fail, an epic fail?
This might even be something that is very like self-explanatory, but honestly, you guys, like, read your resume before uploading it to an application. tracking system, you would not believe the amount of, I've had like somebody upload like a ticket to a concert instead, like a PDF instead of their resume, or like make sure your name is like, I can't even tell you like the amount of like grammatical things I've seen, but like pay attention to what you're uploading. For whatever reason, our system like just recognizes like a PDF, like it could be a PDF or a Word doc, but like I said, I've had like a ticket to a concert. I had like a cover letter. And again, I don't know what other firms require, but we don't require cover letters in our recruiting process. So, you know, I've had like cover letters that were very specific cover letters to another firm be uploaded to our applicant tracking system. So just slow down. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's okay if like some things happen, but I just like always recommend like just slow down. I would say that's one thing that like just gets me. And I'll be honest, like if you don't upload your resume, like, and it's wrong, like I can't review it. So there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Taylor, what about you?
I
What did you
think
think?
from what I've seen, the biggest thing is, especially with all these events and kind of these interviews, is no-shows. Things happen. I mean, emergencies happen, things happen like that. But if you're signing up for a certain event or an interview and we're expecting to see you, I know that's one big kind of red flag as far as for us. You aren't able to make it there. It's hard to kind of get that trust again, to be able to move forward again with another interview. And so you definitely want to start off on the right foot and be able to show that you can be there during when you need to. You're not going to be tardy or late or so forth from there. So I definitely say when you have those interviews or those meetings, make sure you're there on time and then are messaging us. Like I said, I know we're very understanding. Things happen, the technology goes out or your dog or something like that, we'll understand it. But definitely just want to make sure that you just let the people know if you are going to be there and make sure you attend. So
I'm glad you said that, Taylor. And I know last year, you know, Pat, she typically follows up after the events just to make just to check in and see if there were any issues. And like you said, just no shows, you guys, it's fine if you even cancel last minute, but our professionals, they take a lot of time out of their day to do these events. It is also, you know, it's an audit busy season right now. So our professionals' time is really important. So please show up if you signed up to talk to us, or any firm. I'm going to speak to every firm. Show up if you signed up to talk to any firm out there. All right. Any other questions?
Question for you. Hi Heather, it's good to see you.
Hi Emily.
It's always good to see CBIZ. So I know when I interviewed with you guys about 2 years ago now, the second round was in your office in the city. Obviously things are a little bit different now, but going forward, can you maybe give some insight onto how the interview process would look and like maybe some tips on how we can?
That's a great question. So yes, Emily, you were actually our last round that we had in the office 2 years ago. This fall, just specifically for New York, well, actually, I would say it's for every single CBIZ office, but I know you guys are really just kind of focused on that one area. We are doing all of our interviews virtually again this fall. Our first rounds will take place via Handshake, the scheduling platform, and then our second rounds will take place via Teams. We are trying to implement some more, you know, into our final round interview schedule, maybe a virtual office tour. We're just trying to, you know, make it beneficial for y'all's time, but make sure you have the opportunity to see as much as you can, because our office is really cool. And I hate the fact that we can't bring you guys, you know, into our office, but just nationally, you know, we're just our firm's recommending that we do everything virtual this fall, just for the safety of you guys and, you know, our professionals as well. So that's a really good question. So like I mentioned, you know, I try my best, you guys. Like I want you to meet as many people as you can, but it is really hard with this virtual environment. So if you are down to like final round interviews and you are between a couple of firms and you're like, I just don't know, I really would like to meet, you know, maybe more people, like just email me, if you're talking to another firm, email that recruiter we want to make sure, and I'm going to speak to all our recruiters because it's hard, you know, with this virtual world. If you email me and tell me, hey, I'd like to meet more associates, and I'll set you up with a virtual opportunity to meet more of our associates in a more casual setting. I don't want you to take not meeting enough people as a way to specifically for CBIZ, but for other firms, just ask. It never hurts to ask because, like I said, in a virtual setting, it's hard to meet as many people as possible. And when we used to meet in the office, we got to go out to lunch, we got to do fun things, and now we can't do that. So trying. So that was a good question.
Hopefully we can get back in person here.
I know. I was really hoping this fall, but we just nationally have been told to do everything virtually this fall. So we'll see. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
And you guys, if you don't want to ask it out loud, my email, like I said, is hbrown@cbiz.com. There is an E at the end of my last name. So if you don't feel comfortable asking in front of everybody, please feel free to email me. Quinn, I'll send you that sign-in sheet if you don't mind, for the people that are in the room. I'm trying to get used to that QR code thing.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yes. Speaking of QR code too,
Okay.
scan your QR code now for suitable, because it will expire in 8 minutes. And I'll also be sending you the email of Heather and Taylor and Ahmed, and they will be expecting either a thank you email or an ad for connection in LinkedIn and a message in LinkedIn, or a note from LinkedIn. Okay, so again, we are here in BAP to support one another and find the best fit firm for each one of us, and, you know, connect with one another, share information. You know, I know my peers from here know me very well, and they would say you are a best fit for this firm and not for this firm because of your personality or based on your background. So we are helping one another, and I guess your presentation is a really good kickoff for, you know, starting BAP this semester, and also for the recruiting event tomorrow. The expectations are high, so you guys should not be forgetting all those key points, because it is really important. So yeah,
That was great. That was a great way. That was great, Quinn. And like I said, if you have not signed up to talk to us tomorrow, we're there. So are other firms, but we're here. We're there too. So feel free to come talk to us.
CBIZ first, and then the other firms.
No, we're all here supporting everybody. So, you know, like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Talk to as many firms as you can. It's 3 hours. So there's plenty of time, you know, to talk to as many firms, you know, as you can. So, that was great. Thanks, Quinn. You're great. It was great. You know, I know seeing people virtually. I'm excited, you know, for the recruiting, you know, we're in the next 6 weeks. It's here. Recruiting season's here.
Yes.
All right. Feel free to reach out if you have other questions. But Quinn, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I think that's it. It's really good to see you again. And you know, we'll be applying to CBIZ. CBIZ is very close to our hearts. And again, I will also tell Pat that you said hi to her. She was very busy today.
I assume with tomorrow.
Yeah, so the gala is happening next week, another networking event for us students who will be volunteering to work at the auction. But yes, I think that's it. We'll keep in touch.
All right.
And we'll send you all the names who are present today in the sign-up sheet as well. And thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and good luck this recruiting season.
Good luck, everybody. Pleasure meeting everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.